I'm still in conversation then with Dr. Ndo as well as Dr. Dhawraj from the SABC. Dr. Dhawraj, of course, just looking at and just listening to what Songezo Zibi was saying in terms of how well they've done in this election. And when we look at the numbers, it actually does appear that they have done very well, particularly looking at some of the parties that are, have been in the circle for a while. I'm trying to see if I can see where they are at the moment. They're at 66,000, I think over 180. And for instance, Good Party's at 29,277. And I mean, we know that Good Party has been there for a while. So they are doing relatively well. So just talk to us about the hits and the misses.
I think they have done well. They haven't done very well, as you said earlier. But I think especially the leader and we as the media expected parties like Rise Mzansi, Good as well, Patricia de Lille's party as well, Musi Maimane's party both as well. We expected them to do much better. A party like Rise Mzansi had a very nice social media footprint.
Yeah.
They were everywhere. They had billboards on every light pole, every municipality, all of the major metros. So I think there is a bit of disappointment, especially parties like Rise Mzansi. They were appealing to the middle class voter.
Yeah.
If you look at the 8 metros, 40% of the middle class registered voters are in those metros. So it's a huge population, 11 million. They wanted to get their message out. They use social media extensively. I take you back to the Patriotic Alliance. Their appeal was social media. You saw the president, Gayton McKenzie, everywhere on social media, whether it was Twitter, whether it was Facebook, whether it was a platform such as TikTok. He was pushing videos, he was pushing content, and people saw that message. They bought into that messaging. So I think social media in this election was a little better than 2019, than 2014. We were kind of looking at other countries in the West and thinking how we can also marry mainstream media with social media to push out electoral messages, and hopefully that will help push up their electoral tallies when election day came. Yeah.
And Dr. Ndo, I mean, let's talk about the smaller parties, the smaller new parties rather, and also the independents. I mean, what are your impressions, particularly on the independents? I mean, not a lot was said about them, and as we know, I mean, this is a historic moment for them. It's the first time ever, that they are participating in the national and provincial elections.
We all celebrated that independents are going to get a chance to participate, and the emphasis has been that it is a demonstration of the maturity of our democracy. But unfortunately, we haven't seen much of the independent candidates, and their performance as well is quite disappointing. My sense is that this is a learning curve, and those who are watching and those who love to participate as independents would have drawn lessons from what the others have experienced now, and they'll have to do much better. Maybe even to start with their campaigns much earlier, crisscross the whole country, because we've got a very vast country.
Yeah.
And when you look at the numbers required, they are quite much big. But if you look at the new parties that came in, I expected Shiluba to do quite better, and unfortunately they are quite a little bit disappointing on my part.
Yeah, in fact, they are at 2,516 at the moment.
Indeed, I think Mr. Baloy has been alone in the entire campaign. He didn't have sufficient time to mobilize the structures, and maybe that will be something that could have created these disappointments. But who else can we talk about about new parties if we cannot talk about the MK party? It's new, few months ago, having made an announcement. Wow, now that number 3 on the chart.